Dr. Zen's Research Incorporated is pleased to introduce to you our immune-boosting supplements, ascorbic acid sodium ascorbate plus zinc capsules, non-acidic 500 milligrams ascorbic acid in capsule form, 10 milligrams zinc tablet in strawberry flavor, BioComplete, the first ever 42 combination enhanced with probiotics. Hindi na kailangang itago ang taba with Orlistat Lesofat. Control your carbs. Think Lesocarb. Proudly Filipino, made for the Filipinos. Dr. Zen's Research Incorporated is pleased to introduce to you our immune-boosting supplements, ascorbic acid sodium ascorbate plus zinc capsules, non-acidic 500 milligrams ascorbic acid in capsule form, 10 milligrams zinc tablet in strawberry flavor, BioComplete, the first ever 42 combination enhanced with probiotics. Hindi na kailangang itago ang taba with Orlistat Lesofat. Control your carbs. Think Lesocarb. Proudly Filipino, made for the Filipinos. Dr. Zen's Research Incorporated is pleased to introduce to you our immune-boosting supplements, ascorbic acid sodium ascorbate plus zinc capsules, non-acidic 500 milligrams ascorbic acid in capsule form, 10 milligrams zinc tablet in strawberry flavor, BioComplete, the first ever 42 combination enhanced with probiotics. Hindi na kailangang itago ang taba with Orlistat Lesofat. Control your carbs. Think Lesocarb. Proudly Filipino, made for the Filipinos. Dr. Zen's Research Incorporated is pleased to introduce to you our immune boosting supplements, ascorbic acid sodium ascorbate plus zinc capsules, non-acidic 500 milligrams ascorbic acid in capsule form, 10 milligrams zinc tablet in strawberry flavor, BioComplete, the first ever 42 combination enhanced with probiotics. Hindi na kailangang itago ang taba with Orlistat Lesofat. Control your carbs. Think Lesocarb. Proudly Filipino, made for the Filipinos. Dr. Zen's Research Incorporated is pleased to introduce to you our immune boosting supplements, ascorbic acid sodium ascorbate plus zinc capsules, non-acidic 500 milligrams ascorbic acid in capsule form, 10 milligrams zinc tablet in strawberry flavor, BioComplete, the first ever 42 combination enhanced with probiotics. Hindi na kailangang itago ang taba with Orlistat Lesofat. Control your carbs. Think Lesocarb. Proudly Filipino, made for the Filipinos. Dr. Zen's Research Incorporated is pleased to introduce to you our immune boosting supplements: ascorbic acid sodium ascorbate plus zinc capsules, non-acidic 500 milligrams ascorbic acid in capsule form, 10 milligrams zinc tablet in strawberry flavor, BioComplete, the first ever 42 combination enhanced with probiotics. Hindi na kailangang itago ang taba with Orlistat Lesofat. Control your carbs. Think Lesocarb. Proudly Filipino, made for the Filipinos.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sweet. Evening, everyone. We are bringing back another episode of the Zen Alert webinar entitled Probiotics with a Heart. We want to learn more about the cardiovascular benefits of probiotics. During this time of pandemic, if we do not want to get sick, we should do everything to keep our body strong and healthy. And we are very privileged for tonight to have an expert with us. Our speaker completed his medical degree at the Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Manila. He is a diplomate in internal medicine of the Philippine College of Physicians and board certified by the Specialty Board of Adult Cardiology. We would like to welcome to Dr. Zen's Dr. June Percy Prieto. Hi, Doctor.
Hi,
Good evening,
Doktora.
Dr.
Good evening po.
Prieto.
Good evening.
Magandang gabi po. So thank you so much for accepting our invitation. How are you doing, Doctor?
Okay naman po, Doktora. I'm at home, also doing my clinics and rounds at the hospital.
Wow. So we are lucky na napahintulot po ninyong mag-guest sa Zen Alert for tonight. So Doctor, you may start with your lecture when you are ready.
Okay. So thank you very much again for that kind introduction, Dr. Sweet. And good evening, everyone, to all our viewers. So probiotics with the heart, cardiovascular benefits. This is our topic for tonight, and we are aiming to understand the benefit of probiotics in our cardiovascular health. Well, before we go to our discussion, I just want to share with you our current COVID-19 pandemic situation. This is not based on official data, but as my personal understanding as a clinician right now. Well, the bad news is like what our infectious disease experts say. The Delta variant is here already in our country. So why we should be vigilant and careful because it is because that the Delta variant has 1,000-fold higher viral load and it is considered 3 times more contagious. It's just a matter of minutes before it can infect you. It also becomes contagious earlier in an asymptomatic patient, and that's what we are experiencing right now and what we have observed in our hospitals as well as in our households. And it develops into severe disease even in young patients. Next, please. So that is why we really need to help each other on this fight. And first things first, minimum health protocol helps. And that is your face mask plus face shield plus social distancing. It works. And we have proved that already because it interrupts transmission. And in terms of COVID-19 vaccine, I advise and I recommend that you get your jabs done, okay? Your vaccine, because it works. So please don't hesitate. Help yourself, help your family, and the community. And the good news is that all vaccines, regardless of what brand, it prevents severe COVID and death. And it was already proven in trials and as well as in our daily observation in the hospital. Next, please. So now we are going to discuss and understand the particular comorbidities that have the most impact on COVID-19. Okay, so in in uh, in our data, the most common are cardiovascular diseases. So those with cardiovascular diseases are more prone or vulnerable to have COVID-19. Next are those with weak immune system, like those with cancer, diabetic, as well as chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases, and so on. Next, please. That is why it is very important for us to have an holistic approach in terms of prevention of these diseases. We have to improve our immune system and also help us decrease those risk factors that tends to give us more vulnerability to infection. So in this particular slide, okay, so we have to have proper diet and nutrition, exercise, and adequate rest. So these are those advice or recommendations that we are hearing from our clinicians or doctors more and more, and it is considered to be the first line of defense in terms of disease acquiring the disease and preventing its progression. Next. So what is this human microbiome that we are dealing with or um, uh, we have in our body? Okay, so you are not what you think you are, meaning we have this microbiome consists of microbes that are both helpful and potentially harmful. It is considered as community of bacteria with viruses and fungi. And most of the time, they are considered to be symbiotic, meaning both the host meaning us, the humans, and the microbiota benefit with each other. And they are scattered in our body. So through mouth, gut, skin, lungs, urinary tract, and um, vagina. Next, please. Well, this microbiome or bacteria that we are pertaining to are the following. We have the good bacteria, and those are the bifidobacteria, the lactobacilli, which is more we are more we commonly encountered like that present in the Yakult and other yogurt drinks or food, and the E. coli, and we have also bad bacteria in the presence of Campylobacter, Enterococcus faecalis, Clostridium difficile. So it's a balance between the good and the bad. But of course, in the microbiota, we need to enhance our the presence of our good bacteria rather than the bad bacteria. So we have the gut microbiome. So most of these bacteria are housed in the gut, sa ano natin, tiyan, sa intestines in particular. Why is it that the gut microbiota is popular? Because it is considered to be the most diverse, complex ecosystem consisting of 300 to 500 bacterial species. And it is because that the gut microbiome play an important role in the control of vital homeostatic mechanisms in the body. So it has direct benefits such as synthesis of vitamins, immune system development, promotion of intestinal angiogenesis, as well as promotion of fat storage, production of short chain fatty acids, and the modulation of the central nervous system. Okay, next. So because of these roles or function, we need to increase the good bacteria in our gut by ingesting what we call probiotics. So these probiotics are live microorganisms that are intended to have health benefits when consumed or applied to the body. And those are, again, the Lactobacillus, Lactococcus propionii bacterium, Streptococcus thermophilus, Bifidobacterium, and Bulgaricus. So examples of the sources where we can achieve or consume probiotics are like your yogurt, other fermented food like kimchi, natto, miso soup, and raw cheese. When we say fermentation, it is the chemical breakdown of a substance by the bacteria or the yeast. So those are the sources of your probiotics. And of course, why we want to consume these probiotics or have this in our body, it is because that, again, it has benefits. So how do probiotics work? So it helps your body maintain a healthy community of microorganisms, thereby increasing your good bacteria in the body. It helps also microbiota return to a healthy condition after being disrupted or disturbed. And it produces substances that have desirable effects like your vitamins. It also improves your body's immune response, prevents allergy. Some of the study says that it has helped in preventing atopy or allergy. It also prevents or treat your diarrhea. That's why we are encountering what we call Ersiflora in the market, wherein it is being given as an adjunct to treatment in diarrhea. Okay. It also maintain a good mental health, and these desirable effects to the heart also, and this will be the focus of our discussion since we have the topic probiotics with the heart. Next, please. So these are this table shows the different disease conditions that are associated to the influence of gut microbiota to the different organ systems. So this is what we are talking a while ago. That this microbiota, gut microbiota, is somehow can be related to a particular disease entity or condition with the following mediated changes. Okay, next please. So now we go to the meat of our discussion. We intend to understand and discuss the cardiovascular health benefits of probiotics. So how can probiotics help us have a healthy heart? Okay, this is just a schematic diagram that summarizes the health benefits of probiotics as the risk factor reduction, disease prevention, or treatment. We have four major risk factors in the development of cardiovascular disease. That's what we are seeing at the center, cardiovascular disease. And we have the four different risk factors. Number one is hypercholesterolemia. That's increased cholesterol or high cholesterol. Next is type 2 diabetes. That's high sugar, blood sugar level. Third is your hypertension, that's high blood pressure. And last is your obesity or increase in weight. So, and presented in the boxes on the sideline are the different probiotics that has certain anti-effect to these risk factors. And we will go over it one by one. Okay, next. So in terms of hypocholesterolemic effects of probiotics, so recent studies suggest that the microbial imbalance of the gut may play a role in pathogenesis of cardiovascular disease, and accumulating evidence shows probiotics to cause, number one, significant reductions in low density lipoprotein, that's your LDL, and total cholesterol. And when we say LDL, it is considered to be the bad cholesterol. So meaning it, why is it that we say that it is bad cholesterol or consider it as bad? Because it is the cholesterol that collects in the walls of the blood vessels. And when you have or increased LDL in your bloodstream, you have also increased atherosclerosis. Okay. Next is increase in high density lipoprotein or HDL cholesterol. So this time your HDL is increased, and HDL is considered to be a good cholesterol because the function of the HDL helps remove other forms of cholesterol from your bloodstream. Okay, so that's why it is considered as good cholesterol. You have to increase your HDL and decrease your LDL. Next is the reduction in systolic blood pressure. Okay, then increases in antioxidant activity, and lastly, influences on leptin regulation. We all know that the leptin is considered to be as a hormone that regulates your appetite as well as fat storage. Okay, next. In terms of anti-hypertensive effects of probiotics, so again, recent scientific reports point out that probiotics and their metabolites can be exploited to manage hypertension by a mechanism such as, again, going back to the first effect, improving the total cholesterol and LDL cholesterol levels. It is because for a fact that when you have high cholesterol levels in the bloodstream, so you have atherosclerosis or narrowing of the arteries, thereby increasing your blood pressure. Next is reducing blood glucose levels and insulin resistance, because as we all know, these diabetes and hypertension coexist. So when you have diabetic, you are prone to have hypertension. When you have hypertension, you are prone to have diabetes also. So it is because that your blood glucose levels and insulin resistance also affect your arteries. Okay. And lastly, regulating the renin-angiotensin system. So what is the effect of probiotics to your renin-angiotensin system, or what we call the RAS system? So it produces your short chain fatty acids, or SCFA, and some ACE inhibitor peptides that affect your RAS system, thereby decreasing your blood pressure. Next, please. How about probiotics and weight management or obesity? So again, studies suggest that the gut microbiota plays an imperative role in regulating weight and may be accountable for obesity in some people. We all know for a fact that obesity nowadays is considered as a global epidemic and also considered as a major risk factor for cardiovascular diseases. It alters the cardiovascular structure and function, thereby leading to your hypertension, diabetes, chronic inflammation, and dyslipidemia. So that's why some of the societies of our Philippine College of Physicians, in particular the um, diabetes management or endocrinology, is focused also on the management of obesity in our country. And a study showed that reduction in bifidobacteria. So we have considered a while ago bifidobacteria as a good bacteria in the gut of those obese individuals leads to increased levels of lipopolysaccharide that triggers increased pro-inflammatory cytokines, thereby leading to your increased insulin resistance and diabetes. So that is somehow connected to your obesity and diabetes. Thus, consuming probiotics to restore the balance of microbiota and reduce inflammation could be an essential tool in the management of obesity. Okay, next. How about the anti-diabetic effects of probiotics? So probiotics are not only shown to restore the microbial balance of the gut, but are considered as effective supplements to the existing insulin-resistant therapies. So particular studies concluded that consumption of the probiotic yogurt might reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes mellitus. Also, that intake of probiotic yogurt that is rich in probiotics um, improve fasting blood glucose and antioxidant status in those patients already diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Well, diabetes can affect a lot of organ system and have both microvascular and macrovascular complications. So high sugar level promotes insulin resistance and disruption of the gut microbiota. That's why um, probiotics consumption, such as in yogurt, was found to be helping in reducing this condition. Next, please. So, the gut microbiota and coronary artery disease. Okay. So, how does probiotics help in the prevention or reduction of coronary artery disease? So again, studies emphasize the production of short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs, that greatly benefit regulation of energy metabolism, the sympathetic nervous system, and immune cell function. That is why it also helps in preventing your coronary atherosclerosis. Increased diversity of the gut microbiota by FMT was associated with improved insulin resistance. When we say FNT, that's fecal microbiota transplantation. So suppress the development of atherosclerosis. So when we say coronary artery disease, it is the blocking of the coronary arteries, thereby um, there is less blood flow going to your heart. Okay, so the gut microbiota helps in suppressing the development of atherosclerosis by decreasing your serum cholesterol levels, but and also inhibiting oxidative stress. Okay, and lastly, immune suppressive effects of probiotics on atherosclerotic lesion formation and as well as the independent of the lipid lowering effects. So what we have seen in the schematic diagram a while ago summarizes this. Okay, next. So this particular schematic diagram, as we all know, um, again, is a summary of the cardiovascular health benefit of probiotics. So the different effects, first in the oral cavity, okay, next is in the adipose tissue, then the liver, then the heart, then in the gut. So all of this helps in decreasing the atherosclerosis that is primordial in the development of cardiovascular disease. So this highlights the disease prevention mechanisms as well as improved endothelial function and immunity that gives us a healthy heart. Okay, next. That is why relating to what Hippocrates quote that all diseases begin in the gut, we can therefore conclude that the way to a man's heart is through his gut microbiota. Agree? Next. Since we already discussed the important role of probiotics in the cardiovascular disease prevention and treatment, the next question would be, is there a role for probiotics against COVID? Okay. So again, as of today, as of now, there are no available data yet that I know at this moment regarding the role or effect of probiotics in the COVID treatment. However, we did know the role of microbiota in the synthesis of nutrients as well as improve immunity against infections. And we all know that weakened immune system relates to increased viral infection and disease progression. And to also note that during COVID disease, a major complication is atherothrombosis. And with that, we have tackled tonight, we can say that probiotics has a beneficial role. But then again, let me just remind our audience that probiotics are still considered as supplements or adjunct therapy. They are not drugs used for treatment of certain cardiovascular disease. So do not alternate this with your maintenance medication because they are different. They are still considered as adjunct to treatments of certain diseases. So their effect is more entirely on the disease prevention and modifying the different risk factors that leads to cardiovascular diseases. And with that, I end this lecture and thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Prieto, for your presentation. We will now proceed to our question and answer portion. But before that, Doctor, I saw in my Instagram that currently we are already placed in the moderate COVID-19 risk classification. You have discussed about the Delta variant. So I'm just wondering now how you are coping up no, as a cardiologist in the hospitals where you are affiliated with?
Uh, well, as to the, of course, the surge, we are experiencing the surge already in the different hospitals. We have again more and more patients going to the ER because of COVID, and our ICUs again are also full because of the new surge. And for me as a cardiologist, well, we are not. I am not that affected as much because I really need to see my patients. So as long as the hospitals are still open, meaning they are not restricting patients going to the hospital, but with the strict screening protocols, we are just continuing seeing those patients that are not having COVID and experiencing different heart diseases.
That's really a sacrifice, and we thank you for that, no, Dr. Prieto. But I wonder how you are protecting yourself. It's high
Eh,
risk.
well, just what I have mentioned a while ago, as what our infectious experts say, um, basic health protocols still works. That is, always maintain your face mask plus face shield and physical distancing. And also, the different protocol in cleaning your materials or things before you go home to your family.
Okay. So thank you for the reminders, doctor. Now going back to the probiotics with the heart, um, while waiting for the questions from the audience, my first question is multivitamins with probiotics for all of the patients, or is there a specific profile of patient where you usually prescribe it?
Um, in my private practice po, ma'am, no, I usually intend or give these particular supplements. Number one, for those young patients,
Mhm.
um, in particular those patients who are having sedentary lifestyle. Well, for example, call center agents. We all know that they are very uh, subjected to stressful environment. So nakaupo lang sila magdamag, nakaharap sa monitor, and then yung pagkain nila puro fast food. So
Right.
they are we they are subjected to high risk for different disease like cardiovascular disease. And I often encountered those age call center patients that they have high blood pressure as well as diabetes. So for me, since the work of multivitamins and or supplements is more of prevention, so I can I can prescribe them. But for those patients who are financially constrained, so meaning those that are uh, having difficulty in acquiring their medications, so minsan pa nga parang naaawa ka sa kanila kasi sasabihin lang nila yung generic, gano'n.
Yeah.
So, well, for those, so I can just advise them pero siyempre priority pa rin yung medication nila uh, for that. Unless there are those patients that come in your clinic and ask you for a particular multivitamin or supplement that is best for them, then I can prescribe them.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for that, Dr. Prieto. John, do we have questions from the audience? Ito po, totoo po ba na isang cause sa pagiging diabetic ay malakas sa kanin at malakas sa matatamis?
Yes, totoo po, no? Kasi rice, ang composition niyan carbohydrates, no? So when you are consuming a lot of it and it exceeds your daily dietary requirement, so magko-convert yan into increased glucose level in your blood. That's why we need to really check your daily dietary requirement kung ilang cup lang ng rice ang best to take, and also with the sweets.
Yan. I hope we have answered your question, Ms. Mateo. Ayan, meron pong siyang message. Thank you so much, Dr. Percy. Mas madami po kami natutunan, mas nadagdagan ng karunungan namin dahil po sa napakagandang topic po na ito. Salamat. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
For that
Thank you.
comment. Do we have another question? Hintayin po natin. So while waiting, Doctor, may isa pa po akong question kasi kanina you have mentioned about LDL, low density
Yes.
lipoprotein leading to atherosclerosis. Pwede niyo po ba, Doctor, paki-explain sa audience natin yung risk, what are the risk of having atherosclerosis?
Okay. So yung atherosclerosis kasi, yun yung term na ginagamit to describe the blockage or pagkakaroon ng blockage sa coronary arteries. Okay? So which leads to heart attack, of course, no? And yung connection ng LDL or lipoprotein cholesterol, siya yung kino-consider as bad cholesterol kasi nga siya yung nag-collect doon sa ating arteries, doon sa side ng arteries. So kapag nandun kasi siya or nag-collect siya doon sa endothelium ng arteries or yung side ng arteries, nag-a-attract siya ng inflammatory markers, thereby cascading, kinakascade niya, meaning tuloy-tuloy na yon yung process na yon ng inflammatory process. So nag-a-attract ng different cells, so nabubuo, naiipon, thereby creating yung tinatawag nating clog, heart clog, yung yun nga, yung parang bara doon sa loob ng ugat ng puso. So kapag kasi nag-progress yun, pwedeng magkaroon ng total blockage sa heart, thereby presenting as chest pain, yung sumasakit yung dibdib, no? So yun yung mga heart attack na pumupunta ng emergency room and kailangang gamutin agad or mag-undergo ng tinatawag nating angioplasty. Yung iba naman, parang partial deposition lang ng blockage or blockage sa heart. Yun yung mga nag-chest pain na nawawala, and then eventually kapag napuno na nga or na-block na totally, talagang magkokos na ng heart attack. So yun yung natin, concern natin in terms of the LDL. Kaya minsan kapag pina-request ng lipid profile, ina-explain ng doctor na itong LDL mo sobrang taas, so bad cholesterol to. So dapat maging aggressive tayo in lowering it. Kaya pine-prescribe agad ng anti-cholesterol agents.
Yeah. Napakalinaw. Thank you for that, Dr. John, may pinost ka na question kanina. Hintayin natin yung... Ito, Doktor, maganda tong tanong na to. Bakit maraming Pilipino na hypertensive o high blood pero ang papayat? Also, tama po ba na pabata ang nagiging hypertensive?
Okay. Doon sa first question, bakit maraming Pilipino na hypertensive o high blood pressure ang papayat, okay? Iba-iba kasi yung profile ng kada patient, no? So, merong patients na mataba and then mataas ang blood pressure, meron ding patients na payat and mataas din ang blood pressure.
Mhm.
Well, maraming factors ang pwedeng maka-affect doon, no? Pwede kasing depende din sa kumukuha ng blood pressure. Baka mamaya hindi marunong or yung cuff ng blood pressure, yung cuff na nilalagay sa kamay ng blood pressure, pangkuha ng blood pressure is hindi appropriate. Kaya siguro sa mga payat na lalaman na mataas ang blood pressure or or most of the time kasi ang hypertension is related din genetically. So, meron ding mga high blood na payat tapos magtataka ka bakit mataas ang blood pressure. So, meron tayong tiniterm na namamana lalo na kung mataas yung history, family history nila sa family, no, immediate family. So, hindi talaga natin masasabi kung sino yung hypertensive whether mataba or payat, no? Merong mga payat na patient kung stress naman sila, exposed sila sa sedentary lifestyle, yung pagkain nila laging matataba, maalat, mamantika. So definitely magkakaroon sila ng high blood irregardless kung payat sila o mataba. To the second question, also tama po ba na pabata ng pabata? Yes, that is what we are experiencing right now, no? Ako personally sa clinics, yun nga, lalo na yung mga call center na mga patient, number one yan na cause ng pagpunta nila sa clinic is yun nga, yung high blood, pagtaas ng BP. Nasa ano pa lang sila, 20s, 30s, early 30s, so high blood na sila. So, that is why yung impact ng lifestyle natin ngayon is very, very important, no? Gaya nga ng sabi ko kanina, kapag ikaw ay sedentary, hindi ka nag-e-exercise, ang work mo laging nakaupo lang, nakaharap sa computer, tapos kapag kumain ka pa, puro mga fast food, mga burger, mga fries, no? So, yun lahat nagko-contribute into the lifestyle changes na pwedeng mag-cause ng early hypertension, no? So, yun yung concern na kailangan nating tingnan din or tutukan sa ating health care system kasi ang hypertension once na nandiyan na yan, so minsan mahirap na siyang tanggalin o i-treat, no? Kaya maagang nagbibigay ng medication for those patients na bata pa. So, yun yung ano natin.
Narinig ko, Doctor, no? Yung kanina sabi mo, mga call centers, pero naiisip ko, yung mga students din natin ngayon because they are studying at home. So, ganun din ang nangyayari. Nakaupo sila sa computer maghapon. Wala masyadong physical activity kasi nga nakakulong sila sa bahay. So, aside from those call centers, madadagdagan pa yung mga numbers na yan talaga. And
Yes,
pabata pa
agree,
nga
ma'am. Agree po.
Okay. So, pero Doctor, papaano po, kanina na-discuss ninyo that there's a benefit of probiotics for hypertensive patients. I know it's an adjunct, but how can you connect that?
Na-explain natin kanina, no, yung main capability ng probiotics is to decrease your cholesterol levels, no? So, again, high cholesterol connects to your hypertension. Kapag mataas cholesterol mo, mataas din yung risk mo to develop hypertension. So, probiotics, they decrease your cholesterol. So, they can also decrease your risk factor in developing hypertension or decrease your blood pressure. Pero kaya hindi siya kasama sa guideline in the treatment of hypertension kasi nga hindi pa siya proven in a lot or robust study na talagang contribute siya into how many degrees, how many millimeter mercury na pwede niyang ibaba yung blood pressure mo. Unlike kasi sa mga drugs na present ngayon, so meron talaga silang robust studies na kung saan nakikitaan ng hard outcomes in terms of morbidity and mortality, as well as kung ilan yung millimeter mercury na kaya nilang i-decrease in order to control your blood pressure or hypertension.
Okay. Thank you, Doctor.
May question dito si Ma'am, yung
Yes po.
Ma'am Donna, no? Ano po ba benefit ng probiotics sa health or sa overweight din? So, yun, diniscuss natin kanina yung sa overweight or obesity, your gut microbiota helps in decreasing your weight by regulating yung leptin levels mo. And we all know that leptin is a hormone that regulates your appetite as well as your fat storage. So somehow it connects to your weight reduction as well as yung decrease in development of obesity.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Donna, for that question. Any other questions from the audience? Yan. Doc, tanong ko lang po, drinking probiotics po can prevent or reduce heart palpitation?
Okay. Well, depende. Okay? Kasi kung mayroon talagang immediate problem or cause yung heart palpitation mo, dapat kailangang alamin yon or investigahan and give the appropriate treatment for that, no? Kasi kailangan pa rin yung tamang gamot at tamang i-imbestiga kung bakit ka ba nagkakaroon ng heart palpitation. Kasi maraming cause ang heart palpitation. Pwedeng directly galing sa puso kung meron kang sakit sa puso, or meron namang iba outside ng puso, like for example kung hyperthyroid ka or may toxic goiter ka, so pwede ka ring magkaroon ng heart palpitation. And kung iinuman mo lang yun ng probiotics, hindi talaga yun ma-prevent or mawawala. So pero just what I have said or we have discussed, it helps a lot in those particular risk factors development, like hypertension, diabetes, or hypercholesterolemia or obesity, that particularly leads to your cardiovascular disease. And that cardiovascular disease could be one of its manifestation is having a heart palpitation. So pwede pa rin. If you are practicing taking or drinking probiotics ngayon, so pwede pa rin naman. Pero yun nga, hindi siya considered as a treatment for your palpitation. Kumbaga, kailangan pa rin malaman kung ano yung cause, no? Okay?
Thank you. Last question, John. Meron pa ba tayo? Yan, last. Doc, ano po ang advantage ng BioComplete to other food supplements? And why choose BioComplete?
Okay. Well, personally, wala naman akong pinopromote na na specific brand. Pero syempre, nasa pangalan niya na BioComplete, no? You have I think multivitamins plus meron pang mga certain minerals and as well as yun nga presence of the probiotics in that particular pill compared to other multivitamins na wala yung probiotics. And as to what we have discussed tonight, no? Marami yung benefits ng probiotics sa cardiovascular health. So yung BioComplete mo, bukod sa multivitamins, meron pa siyang probiotics. So mas complete talaga siya in prevention of diseases. Okay?
So, thank you so much. We had a very good question and answer, Dr. Prieto. We
Thank
have
you din
learned so
po.
much from you. Thank you for reminding us to lead a healthy lifestyle para to avoid diseases. But any further last words for the audience?
Ayun, again, I would like to remind everyone to take your vaccines, no? Marami na pong available na vaccines sa atin, no? Marami na. Nandiyan na yung mga Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson and Johnson, no? So our governments are really having or putting their tireless effort to provide us free vaccine. So dapat i-grab natin 'yon in order to protect, no, ourselves, our family and our community. Okay? So hindi matatapos tong pandemic na to kung hindi tayo lahat mababakunahan. Okay? So yun lang yung gusto kong i-remind lahat ng viewers natin. Okay?
So, thank you so much again, Dr. Prieto.
Thank
Maraming
you. Thank you,
salamat for
ma'am.
your
Thank
time.
you, Dr. Zen, for the opportunity in giving this lecture. So, thank you so much.
Doctor, stay safe and healthy. Ingat po kayo palagi.
Kayo din po, ma'am. Stay safe. Thank you.
All right. So, I will now call on my partner, Miss Henny. Yan, partner Henny. For our viewers, your turn.
Yeah. So again, thank you for joining us tonight. So BioComplete consists of 42 vitamins and minerals with probiotic. It is available in Mercury outlets nationwide as well as St. Joseph Drugstore. You can also order BioComplete in Shopee and Lazada. Just search for Dr. Zen's and avail of our special buy one take one promo for a limited time only. Aside from BioComplete, Dr. Zen's has a wide range of immune-boosting supplements like sodium ascorbate plus zinc chewable tablet. And we would like to officially introduce here our new babies, quercetin. Yes, you've heard it right. We have quercetin now. It's one of the supplements being used to fight COVID and triple combination therapy that consists of vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc. Triple the action, triple the protection in our fight for COVID. All these are available in Dr. Zen's website, Shopee, Lazada, Facebook, and IG page. Some of these are available in selected Mercury outlets. So aside from immune-boosting supplements, Dr. Zen's ivermectin is the only FDA-approved human-grade ivermectin which can be bought in Mercury, Watsons, Southstar, and TGP. And please note that you can only buy ivermectin if you have a valid prescription. So, as our token of appreciation for joining us tonight, 4 lucky winners will receive 1 box of BioComplete each. The winners are Miss Glads Fedines Amigo, Michelle Daria Salazar, Gian Michael De Polonia, Trixie Yara. So congratulations to all the winners. please message our FB page on how to claim your prize. Good night and thank you.
Thank you so much to Henny, and thank you for all our participants for tonight. So it's better to be aware, be educated, and live a better life. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Initiate retreat! Wiped out.
Wait.
Retreat. Ally has been slain. Initiate retreat. Attack the turtle.
Bahala ka dyan.
Defeat.
Trip naman.
Maybe I don't understand this. You're changing, I can't stand it. My heart can't.
A few moments later.
Sino yan? Sino mas ko?
Sir, delivery po.
Kayo na ba yan?
Kay Ma'am Cassandra po.
Ano talaga? Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Ingat.
Thank you. Ingat. Ayan.
君の虜になってしまえばきっとこの夏は充実するのモード噂の Dreaming が忘れ
A few moments later.
Surprise!
Oy, Dave! Pwede ka pumasok ka. Oy, Dave! Kasa ka naman?
Dahil mahal kita, gusto ko, safe ka.
Aw, thank you!
君の虜になってしまえばきっとこの夏は充実するのモード
Para safe tayo, dapat kumpleto ang alaga. BioComplete, your multivitamins with probiotics.
Mahalagang paalala, ang Dr. Zen's
rehearsal take tayo ha, rehearsal take. Bale, sir, sir Bunch, sir. Hawakan mo namin yung script mo para mabasa. Fresh air, take 6. Action!
Kayo ba ay galing opisina, medyo pagod? Wala kayong gagawin, kundi mag-relax, magtanggal ng sapatos, magchinelas, at buksan ang Dr. Sen Beautiful. Tanggal ang allergens, molds, bacteria, viruses sa hangin. Fresh air!